Things are getting pretty complex for organizations these days, wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely. It's quite the challenge.
Like you've got this explosion of AI just everywhere.
Coming into the workplace fast.
And at the same time, this huge push for, sustainability, ESG practices.
Exactly. Environmental, social, governance. It's critical now.
And it just feels like the old ways of managing things. Well, maybe they're not quite cutting it anymore.
That's a really good way to put it. There's definitely a growing gap, between those traditional approaches and what's needed now.
Yeah, the speed of tech change, plus needing to be responsible, it demands something more adaptable.
It really does. Which I think leads us nicely into our topic for this deep dive.
Right. We're looking at the Honey Badger Management Framework, HBMF for short.
HBMF, okay.
And this isn't your standard textbook management theory. It's specifically designed for organizations using, well, a mix. Humans and AI assistants working together.
That blend is key. And the name, Honey Badger.
Yeah.
That's pretty evocative, isn't it?
It is. It's inspired by the animal, apparently. Its fearlessness, resilience.
Resourcefulness, determination, maybe a bit ferocious.
Haha. Maybe a little bit. Tenacious, definitely.
Right.
So our source is an academic analysis of this framework.
Got it. An academic take.
And our mission today is basically to unpack it, understand the core ideas, the pros, the potential cons.
And figure out why it might actually be relevant for you listening in.
Exactly. So maybe let's start with the problem it's trying to solve. Like, what's wrong with the old ways?
Good starting point. What are the limitations of those traditional methods people still use? PMP, Prince2, that sort of thing.
Well, the analysis we're using points out that while they're great for planning, for predictability, they can be slow.
Very structured. Almost rigid sometimes.
Yeah, rigid, often hierarchical, like trying to steer a huge tanker ship. Not great when things change fast. The sources mention that strong focus on upfront planning.
Which was fine in stable times, right? But
Right.
now, market shifts, new tech pops up.
Yeah.
That rigidity becomes a real problem.
Then you got agile methods, Scrum, Kanban. They definitely brought more flexibility, iterative work.
Huge improvement there.
Yeah.
Focus on adapting, continuous feedback.
Yeah.
Came out of things like the Agile Manifesto, the Scrum Guide.
Yeah.
Lots of folks adopted Agile ideas.
For sure. Agile definitely helped with that inflexibility. But the analysis argues they often lack clear formal leadership structures.
Sometimes that's a critique.
And crucially for us today, they don't really have a standard way to, bake AI into the team's process.
That's a big one. And the other piece is ESG, right? Environmental, social, governance.
Yeah. Super important now, but traditional frameworks, even most agile ones, they didn't really build ESG in from the start. It's often an add-on, if anything.
So you've got these established methods, each with strengths, but also weaknesses when you face, well, today's world, rapid change, AI, and the need for sustainability.
Precisely. And that's the gap HBMF is designed to fill.
Okay, so let's introduce the Honey Badger management framework properly.
Right. The big idea is a new framework built for this hybrid world, humans and AI collaborating.
Taking the good bits from Agile, like flexibility.
Yes, the iterative nature, and blending it smartly with AI power and a strong ESG commitment. It's a combination.
And those Honey Badger traits we mentioned. Fearlessness, resilience, resourcefulness.
Yeah.
Using all the tools, including AI.
Determination, tenacity. Yeah, it paints a picture of the kind of mindset or maybe organizational culture it aims for.
So how does that translate into actual practice? What are the key components?
Okay, so core components. You've got really short sprint cycles, much shorter than usual.
Shorter sprints. Okay.
Very clearly defined roles within the teams.
Defined roles. Interesting. Addresses that Agile critique.
Then there's the AI assistant integration. It's central, not optional.
Built-in AI. Got it.
And finally, that deep ESG commitment. It's woven through everything.
All right, let's unpack those. Those short sprints sound fundamental. Tell me more.
They are. HBMF uses 7-day work cycles, just 1 week.
Wow, 7 days.
And teams can run up to 3 of these in a month. But here's the kicker. You can actually cancel a sprint partway through.
Cancel a sprint midweek.
Yeah. If it's clear the goals aren't right anymore or, unachievable, the framework links it to the Honey Badger being pragmatic about risk, know when to cut losses, and pivot.
It's radically agile. Much more than standard Scrum, for example. Allows for really fast course correction.
Yeah.
Okay, what about the defined roles?
Right. This seems aimed at providing clearer leadership. There are 3 key roles: manager, guru, and specialists.
Manager, guru, specialist. Okay.
The manager sets the requirements, breaks down the work into tasks, and keeps the team aligned with the bigger picture, the strategy.
So clear direction and accountability there. What about the guru? That sounds different.
It is pretty unique. The guru is like the framework's guardian within the company. They make sure teams stick to HBMF principles.
So compliance and consistency.
Yeah, but also knowledge transfer, sharing best practices between teams. And they manage the real-time dashboards showing progress.
Ah, okay. So framework champ, knowledge facilitator, and transparency driver.
Yeah.
Interesting. And the specialists.
They're the ones doing the actual work. But here's another twist. They often work in competing sub-teams.
Competing within the same project team.
Deliberately. The idea is to spur innovation, drive performance through a bit of healthy rivalry.
Healthy being the key word there, I suppose.
Could be tricky.
Could be.
And specialists also have this duty to declare knowledge gaps whenever they hit something they don't know.
Declare ignorance. That takes psychological safety.
Exactly. But declaring it triggers collaboration within the team to fill that gap, promotes learning.
Okay, competitive subteams and mandatory knowledge gap declarations. Definitely some novel elements there. Now, AI integration, you said it's central.
Absolutely central. Every HBMF team gets a dedicated AI assistant.
Dedicated, not just like using ChatGPT on the side.
No, it's integrated. The AI is there specifically for knowledge work, data analysis, research, even monitoring ESG compliance for the project. The analysis really flags this as a key differentiator.
So AI is an active team member almost, handling complex info tasks. That is different. And the ESG part, how's that embedded?
It's not just a checkbox. It's meant to be part of the operational fabric, encouraging energy efficiency in everything, transparent governance.
So making decisions through an ESG lens, not just reporting on it afterwards.
That seems to be the goal, making it integral.
Okay. And with short sprints, maybe canceled sprints, competing teams, how does everyone stay on the same page? Communication must be key.
Structured communication is the answer there. Regular events, daily stand-ups, quick syncs, sprint reviews show the work, get feedback. And preparatory meetings get ready for the next sprint.
A predictable rhythm within the dynamic environment. Makes sense.
Yeah, keeps things connected.
So taking all that together, the rapid cycles, defined roles, AI partner, embedded ESG, structured comms, how does HBMF stack up against the methods we mentioned earlier, PMP, Scrum, etc.?
The analysis has a useful comparison table. Looks at leadership, agility, AI, and ESG across all of them.
And what are the big takeaways from that comparison?
Well, leadership-wise, those manager and guru roles give HBMF clearer accountability than, say, Scrum's distributed model.
Okay, more defined oversight.
Agility. Those cancelable 7-day sprints make it way more responsive than the big phased approaches like PMP or Prince2.
A different league of adaptability, potentially. What about AI and ESG?
That's where it really stands out. The explicit standard AI integration is unique compared to the others, where AI might be used, but it's more ad hoc.
Right. It's not usually built into the methodology itself.
And same for ESG. It's a core principle in HBMF, whereas in others, it's often secondary or maybe an outcome of efficiency like in Lean, but not the primary focus.
So HBMF isn't just tweaking existing models. It's proposing a different kind of system, really tackling AI and ESG head on.
Exactly. Now, the analysis goes deeper, looking at the underlying logic, mathematical concepts, management theories.
Add some intellectual heft to it, beyond just the practical steps. What sort of things?
Mathematically, it mentions discrete optimization, thinking of sprints as stages to optimize resource use. Uses probability theory, like Poisson distributions, for risk assessment.
Quantifying risk, okay.
And game theory to analyze that intra-team competition, looking for a Nash equilibrium, basically the optimal point for the competing teams. References some classic works there.
Interesting. So a quantitative underpinning. Yeah, theoretically. From management studies.
Yeah, it connects to several big theories. Agency theory supports the manager's oversight role, reducing conflicts. Dynamic capabilities theory backs the short sprints and AI for rapid adaptation.
Makes sense. Need to adapt quickly these days.
Stakeholder theory fits with the ESG focus, considering all stakeholders. Behavioral economics explains the knowledge gap declarations as nudges for humility and collaboration.
Ah, the nudge idea. Okay.
Transaction cost economics suggests the structured communication lowers coordination costs. And the resource-based view positions the unique AI integration and specialized roles as sources of competitive advantage.
So it's grounded in a lot of established thinking, not just pulled out of thin air.
Right. Seems well considered from multiple angles.
Okay, theory is one thing, But how might this actually look in practice? The analysis had case studies, right? Hypothetical ones.
It did, yeah. 35 hypothetical case studies, actually, across lots of different industries. We can't cover all 35, obviously, but maybe hitting a few examples would help make it more concrete for you.
Definitely. Let's hear a couple.
Okay, imagine a tech startup. Needs a new feature fast, say, user authentication, using HBMF.
Right.
Manager breaks it into maybe 3 7-day sprints, sets up 2 competing sub-teams, dev versus testing security, perhaps.
Right, the competition element.
They declare knowledge gaps, collaborate. AI assistant checks code vulnerabilities, benchmarks performance. Guru ensures they follow HBMF and energy-efficient coding.
ESG baked in even there. And the outcome.
Hypothetically, feature deployed way faster, maybe 21 days, with lower energy use tracked, speed and sustainability.
Tangible example.
Got it.
Give us another one, maybe different sector.
Sure. Financial firm, volatile market. Needs to update trading algorithms constantly.
High pressure, fast changes.
HBMF allows rapid updates via short sprints. AI assistant does real-time market data analysis. Competing teams refine different strategies. Guru ensures regulatory compliance and ESG investment policies are followed.
Again, that blend. Speed, AI, compliance, ESG.
Yeah.
What was the result there?
Hypothetical outcome. Improved trade accuracy, maybe 15%, while staying aligned with sustainability goals.
Okay, powerful combination. What about something completely different? Healthcare. Manufacturing.
Yeah, the analysis covers loads. Hospital upgrading patient data system, HBMF sprints for modules, IT and medical staff and subteams, crucial knowledge gap sharing for privacy HIPAA, AI maps data flows, checks security, Guru oversees privacy and hardware energy efficiency, outcome, faster, smoother upgrade.
Makes sense.
Or a retail chain using HBMF and AI for sustainable inventory forecasting. Manufacturing plant optimizing production with HBMF while hitting safety and environmental targets. Consulting firm using it to develop client ESG strategies.
Seems quite adaptable.
It does. Education launching online platforms focusing on accessibility as ESG. Energy companies planning renewables with AI models. Nonprofits optimizing fundraising with AI analytics. Logistics firms improving route efficiency for lower emissions.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's a really wide range. 35 examples must cover a lot of ground. Really suggests versatility.
It definitely tries to show it could work almost anywhere. But like any framework, it's not all sunshine and roses, right? We need to look at the downsides, too.
Absolutely. Let's talk pros and cons. What are the big advantages highlighted?
Okay, upsides. First, risk mitigation. Those short sprints limit the damage if something goes wrong. Quicker to adjust.
Less potential waste. Makes sense.
Enhanced knowledge transfer, thanks to those gap declarations and collaboration focus. Helps build a learning culture.
Good for improvement.
Scalability. The AI integration is meant to help maintain standards as the organization grows, and more teams use HBMF.
Okay, consistency across scale.
The strong ESG integration that's a big plus today. Improves reputation, helps meet regulations, attracts investors.
Increasingly important for sure.
And finally, that effective leadership oversight from the manager and guru roles. Keeps things on track, ensures framework adherence.
So agility, learning, scalability, sustainability, accountability sounds like a strong package. What are the challenges, the limitations, the watchouts?
Definitely some watchouts. First, the cost of AI. Integrating sophisticated AI systems can be expensive, especially for smaller outfits.
Yeah, AI isn't always cheap.
Yeah.
A potential barrier.
Then there's that intra-team competition. If it's not managed really well, it could backfire. Create silos, reduce collaboration between teams, hurt cohesion.
The dark side of competition
Oh.
means careful handling.
And just the effort involved.
Yeah.
Maintaining those real-time dashboards, the guru oversight, it could be pretty resource-intensive, demanding time and people.
So potential high costs, risk to team dynamics if competition goes wrong, and significant overhead for monitoring and guidance. Valid concerns. Did the analysis suggest ways to handle these?
It did offer some mitigation ideas. For AI cost, maybe a phased adoption, start small, grow gradually.
Okay, don't try to boil the ocean.
For the competition risk, set really clear guidelines, focus on overall project goals, not just beating the other sub-team. Make it constructive.
Manage the competition carefully.
And for the resource intensity, leverage automated tools for the dashboards where possible, and maybe train multiple gurus to share the load.
Practical steps to try and smooth the implementation.
Yeah.
Okay. Lastly, what about the future? Where does research on HBMF need to go next?
Key areas, empirical validation. We need real-world studies comparing HBMF's performance directly against other frameworks, see how it actually does.
Get hard data beyond the hypothetical cases. Makes sense.
Also, tailoring it, exploring if specific versions are needed for different sectors. Healthcare, manufacturing, education might have unique needs.
Sector-specific adaptations.
And leveraging more advanced AI. As AI evolves, how can things like predictive analytics or machine learning be integrated even more deeply?
Keep pace with AI development.
And finally, long-term ESG impact. Because it's such a core part, we need studies looking at the actual measurable environmental, social, and governance outcomes over time for organizations using HBMF.
Understand the real sustainability benefits. All sounds like important future work.
Absolutely. So wrapping up this deep dive, we've really unpacked the honey badger management framework.
Looked at how it's built for this modern world of hybrid human-AI work.
We covered the core bits, those super short, cancelable sprints,
The defined roles manager, guru, specialist,
the central role of the AI assistant as a knowledge partner.
and that deep commitment to ESG principles running through it all.
And we've seen how it tries to tackle the limitations of older methods, both traditional and agile, in today's complex environment.
Offering a potentially more integrated, adaptable approach.
So here's the final thought, really, for you listening. Even if adopting HBMF wholesale isn't feasible for your organization right now, think about the principles.
Yeah, what pieces might resonate?
Could you experiment with shorter work cycles, even if not 7 days, maybe shorter iterations? How could you use AI more strategically, not just for simple tasks, but to boost knowledge?
Could you embed sustainability thinking more deeply into your team's everyday decisions?
Exactly. What honey badger traits, that fearlessness, that resilience, that determination, could you consciously bring to your next project?
Even applying just one or two ideas from HBMF might spark some interesting changes.
Definitely worth considering. There's a lot here to mull over and maybe explore further in your own context.